All right, welcome DoorGrow hackers to the DoorGrow show. If you are a property management entrepreneur that wants to add doors, make a difference, increase revenue, help others, impact lives, and you are interested in growing your business and life, and you are open to doing things a bit differently, then you are a DoorGrow hacker. DoorGrow hackers love the opportunities, the daily variety, the unique challenges, and freedom that property management brings. Many in real estate think you're crazy for doing it. You think they're crazy for not, because you realize that property management is the ultimate high trust gateway to real estate deals, relationships, and residual income. At DoorGrow, we are on a mission to transform property management business owners and their businesses. I'm your host, property management growth expert, Jason Hull, founder and CEO of DoorGrow. Now, let's get into the show. So for today's topic, what I wanted to talk with you about is doing the unscalable. So, a lot of times in businesses, everybody's looking for what's the scalable option, which means what's the shortcut, what's the hack, what's the fast way to do this so we can just do as little work as possible. How can we just hit a whole bunch of people? Here's how that tends to look. We do that in our advertising, we do that in marketing a lot of times. A lot of people are trying to figure out how can they create some sort of shortcut, like let's direct mail everybody. Let's see if we can just blanket text message everybody. Let's set up automations. Now, a lot of people come to me and they're like, what's the secret? How are you helping your clients add 100, 200, or more doors in a year? How are they growing right now? Because our company is down about 200 doors over previous years because all the owners are selling because the market's hot right now and they want to get out of these properties and get cash out of their investment. So, but the problem is that everybody's looking for the scalable solution. And here's the secret. If you want to scale your business, do the unscalable things that nobody is doing. If you want to stand out in the marketplace, do what nobody else is willing to do that the customers really want. If you want to scale your business in sales and improve sales, do the unscalable things that nobody else is willing to do. Right? Instead of the automation, go in the complete opposite direction. How can we have more depth and connection? So let's throw out some real practical real world examples of this, right? So one example that I refer to a lot is a lot of people will try to grow the business through these blanketing strategies of advertising. They want to blanket the world and, just spray and pray. And so they'll use strategies like, let's focus on pay-per-click or content marketing or SEO. And why? Because these are things they can throw money at and have somebody else maybe do for them, they hope. But the challenge is when you try and create a system where you think you're going to have a lot of leverage, hey, we'll just throw money at this problem. The challenge is usually you get more work in exchange. And so, for example, those are all cold leads. Cold leads take a lot more time to deal with. They take more nurture. They take more follow-up time. There's less trust involved, right? And so if there's less trust involved and there's more follow-up time involved, then it's actually going to take more work. It's going to take more time. And advertising is expensive. So these cost more money. So one of the things that I have clients do, our top strategies for growing and adding doors, are to do the unscalable things. So for example, something that usually people try to do to grow the business is they try and go and get referrals from other people, like from real estate agents, for example. And they try and just, say, hey, if you ever run into somebody that needs property management, refer them to me. Here's the problem. The best prospects, the people that actually might need property management, most of them are not looking for property management. They're not going to go up to a real estate agent and say, hey, I need a property manager. That just doesn't happen. Usually by the time they do think they need a property manager, they're in a world of hurt. They're a crappy situation, something you wouldn't even want to take on. So then you're getting the garbage. So then they're connecting you to the garbage that exists in the marketplace. And the biggest problems when the best clients are people that don't even yet know they need property management, capturing them way earlier in the sales cycle before they become price sensitive and you're the first person they've heard of or talked to related to property management, maybe that's a better ideal. Your close rate's going to be a lot higher. There's a lot more trust in that relationship, and that's going to be more effective than doing cold leads and spending time, prospecting directly to potential investors, for example, where the close rate is typically really low, like maybe 1 out of 10 or worse. So why not create a outbound prospecting program towards real estate agents? And so this is one of the things that we share in our program of how to make that really effective and how to create the right incentives so that people are actually referring business to you. So without going into too much detail, it's all about creating more depth and connection on a one-on-one individual basis with potential referral partners. Other people are like, hey, I'm going to go present to a whole real estate morning office meeting, high leverage, lots of people, and you're going to talk to all these people and pitch. And then guess what happens? They're all looking at their phones. Nobody thinks about you, and you never get a referral, right? But hey, you got to talk to a lot of people. Sounds very scalable, high leverage, right? We want to focus on what is unscalable, right? That would be the personal one-on-one interactions with each of those agents, right? That would be the goal. I would love to meet with each of you individually. Let's set up a time and connecting with them and creating a deep, personal, more intimate relationship and connection. That's where you make more money because it's the thing people are not willing to do. Let's talk about online reviews, for example, a great strategy for growing your business. A lot of people will just use something like, tools like our Gather Kudos tool, or they'll use something like Bird Eye or some sort of system where their goal is like, hey, we'll just send out emails or text messages or whatever. What I teach in our program, in our training Reputation Secrets, is if you do warm personal outreach, you're going to create a lot more reviews. It's not scalable, but you get a much bigger result. Is it worth the time investment? Is it worth the additional staff and resources you might need to implement that strategy? Absolutely. And you will crush your competition. And there's a lot of, other stuff that I talk about in Referral Secrets of how to make that really effective, how you can set it up so it increases retention rates with your clients, etc. But the general principle in each of our most effective growth strategies is to do the unscalable things. And that's what scales companies. So if you want to grow your business right now, take a look at what are you trying to do right now that is a scalable version, a scalable solution. Like you're trying to hit a lot of people through some sort of email newsletter where you've got a list of thousands of people. Or are you trying to, just go and, throw out an advertisement on Facebook or Google ads where you're trying to just hit tons and tons of people and get lots of eyeballs? What if you went in the complete opposite direction and you did something that was the most personal, the most intimate, the most connecting way of reaching out and creating relationships with people in order to get us to achieve the same result? What if you went in the complete opposite direction and then you started to build and scale your systems related to doing more of that, which means hiring more people instead of more technology and automation? So I have a friend, one of my mentors, he has a business that does a lot in revenue, really, really big company. I believe they do like $100 million a year in their business. It's ridiculous. And he has like really savvy skills, really great marketer, great with technology. And yet he could automate his whole sales process. He could have a funnel and have videos and all this stuff. Yet he has a really large sales team. Why? Because that's what's most effective to get to that level of revenue. He has a large sales team of setters and a large sales team of closers because it's the most effective. It's more effective than having a funnel and a video webinar and trying to automate all this stuff. And you'll hear lots of people saying you're just one funnel away, or you just need this marketing piece, or if you just do a newsletter or just do social media. These are all scalable solutions, right? They're scalable. You can get people in place. You can hit a lot of people really quickly. Scalable solutions are, can be effective. Some of them can be effective, but in general, If your business isn't growing, I'm guessing you're already doing some of these quote unquote scalable things, but you're not doing the unscalable things. What are the unscalable things that none of your competitors are doing? Are they doing warm personal outreach, with every new tenant and every new owner to get a review? Are you doing warm personal outreach with every real estate agent, lender, handyman, um, attorney, lawyer, anyone that helps investors in your market to create a referral relationship and partnership with them? Probably not, right? That's not scalable. We don't want to do that. Let's go do advertising. And yet the companies that are doing advertising right now, they're usually spending about 3 to 5 grand a month, and they're probably down about 200 doors over previous years. If you have between, 600 to 1,000 doors, my guess is you've lost maybe about 200 over the last year because you're not doing the unscalable actions that are more intimate. So focus on greater depth and greater connection. That's really what property management is. It's a business of connection and depth and of relationships. People are trying to turn it into a business of automation and technology and tools. But the challenge with that is, and I do like technology, don't get me wrong. And I do recommend that you use and create leverage where you can technologically. However, if you want the biggest result when it comes to getting referrals, with getting reviews, with getting on more deals, the more personal approach and the more depth is going to be the most effective strategy. And nobody else is doing it. And this allows you to create market share while everybody else is fighting over this red bloody water where everybody's trying to spray and pray and hope they're going to get some sort of return on their advertising dollars. Stop falling prey to marketers that are just selling advertising. What I teach is do the right actions, and you will spend less time than you would dealing with cold leads, and it costs you $0. I had a client today on our coaching call, really cool guy, Michael Sullivan. He was talking about how he added 8 properties in the last 24 hours. His phone is ringing, he said, constantly. And I said, how are you doing? He's just doing the strategy that I told him to do and doing this outbound method. And I said, how many thousands of dollars in marketing have you spent to get on all of these doors that you're adding right now? And he looked really confused because, it was a loaded question, but he looked really confused. He was like, I don't understand what you're saying. And I said, you've spent $0 in advertising, correct? And he said, oh yeah, $0, right? How many of you are spending $0 and you've added 8 properties just in the last 24 hours and your business is growing really fast, right? Another client showed up, he'd added 13 doors, right? Another client showed up, said he added 8 doors, on that call. Like these clients, and this is a weekly call, weekly check-in. How many doors have you added this week, right? So if you're not adding doors as quickly as you want to, and you don't trust me enough to come into my program and let us help you, that's cool. But start just focusing on what's the least scalable thing I could do. And it's probably that thing you're avoiding. Maybe it's too personal. Maybe it's uncomfortable. Go do that thing. And what you'll find is your business will start to grow really rapidly. So anyway, if I can help you go faster, focus on the unscalable things in business. The reason I want to talk about this today is it keeps coming up for me. I get questions all the time. Even a client today is like, how do I leverage this list I have of 4,000 emails? And, I've got this other list of, this. So again, what I taught him was figure out what's the least scalable thing you could do. What everybody else would do is do a newsletter. He says, I'm doing a newsletter. How often? Every week. Cool. What are you using a system to do that? Yes. MailChimp. Okay, cool. In MailChimp, what are your stats on the open rate? 10%. That's email, right? It's scalable, but it's really shitty results, right? 10% open rate. That means 90% are not even opening the email. So the challenge there is I said, cool. What if you took all of those email addresses of different either investors or real estate agents on your lists, and you sent out a personal email to each individual one? You did maybe $50 a day or whatever your email system, but you do it from your personal email account, not from a email system, and just reached out to them and said, hey, how are things going with your rental properties? Or, hey, do you need anything from me today? Or, hey, would you be interested in getting a call to find out how I could get you some more real estate commissions? I have this cool new program, you know? So these kind of things, like if it was to a potential referral partner, right? So, and then give them a Calendly link or some way to schedule with you and that sort of thing. So that's the kind of conversation. How can you take this thing you're trying to do that's not really working, but it's very scalable, and do the unscalable thing? And just even if it's a little bit of that, you're going to get a much bigger return on that time investment. And you don't have to spend a whole bunch of time drafting up a big newsletter. Just do a little bit of outreach with a really short 1-sentence email, and you may start getting some real responses and initiate some conversations. So it keeps going back to this, and I've my own mentors. Every method that I tend to hear or see that works, it's always going back to what's the least scalable thing. So it's not how can I do this with less people? It's how can I do this with more? You can sometimes double your close rate, like I talked about on a previous podcast episode, just by getting a setter involved, right? That's adding more people. Having a setter and a closer increases the conversion rates and increases the close rates, and even though it's more people and you're spending more money on staff, right? But a lot of people are looking for the way, how can I decrease, the need to talk to people, or how can I systemize this, or how can I automate it or leverage technology? So I hope this was a helpful conversation. Do the unscalable things. The unscalable things are where you show care. It's where you invest in people. It's where you're human. It's where you love on people. This is where you build relationships. I think it was Grant Cardone. He said the difference between a contract and a contact is the R, and that's relationships, right? So focus on making relationships, and you're going to get a lot more contracts. And this is what most business owners and businesses are unwilling to do. And if you do it, you're going to have results that other businesses are unable to achieve. And that's my message for today. So I hope this is helpful for those of you. If you want a little bit more help, you want some accountability, you want some new ideas, you want to inject some life into your business, reach out to DoorGrow. We'd be glad to help you. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. Is I love coaching and supporting clients and helping them grow their companies. And my goal is to turn you into the entrepreneur that can have the business of your dreams. If you don't have the business of your dreams right now, as one of my mentors would say, you're not yet the person that can run it yet. So let's turn you into that person. So reach out to us, check us out at doorgrow.com, or join our Facebook group, doorgrowclub.com. We'll get you to it, our community, and that's it. So until next time, to our mutual growth. Bye, everyone.